የእግዚአብሔርን ሕግ ተከትለን
Give thanks for having me here. I am KUSH of Black Redemption Production, based in New York City, USA. Well, I am a sound system operator, engineer, selector, producer, and my mission in music is to keep the roots connected from foundation into the future generation. Well, the name of my label was made up between me and some of my brethren who had a focus on mind of what our sound system was gonna based on. And the foundation of this name, Black Redemption, comes from the culture, specifically the culture of Rastafari, which is development and an improvement of the life of the children and descendants of Africa who are living in the Western Hemisphere. So by that, the Black Redemption is specific with the music that we play, not limiting it to just one part, but to make it part of this experience of redemption to music and to sounds. The sound system movement in the USA has had many different periods. There was a period in the 70s where there were few local Jamaican sounds that were transplanted from Jamaica. Amongst them is Wackies, which developed into being a very world-known label. But in the 80s, with the change of the music and with the change of how sound system was being played from people's home and basement into nightclub, the concept of sound system comprising of speaker boxes and homemade amplifiers and preamp changed to what could be accepted in a regular nightclub scene. So the development of that and the influence of the hip-hop culture in the Jamaican music industry, that had a direct effect on the sound system existence and movement in America. So from the 80s, the mid-80s toward until like very recent, the sound system culture in America has been primarily nightclubs and pubs and bars. However, we were one of the first to focus on bringing the culture of sound system and the message of roots music and the sound system movement to New York. And it took some time, but now there are more younger persons than ourselves who's developing this concept. So I think right now there is a new movement of the sound system culture in America that maybe started in the 2000s, and it's developing now in New York, but it's already kind of like on its way in places like California and in different little pockets in America. But I would say right now it's a young movement because it's something that is starting fresh with younger people and younger vision and younger perspectives of the music. I think in Europe it's a very big scene. It's a very large and powerful scene. There are many sound systems playing modern music, modern dub music, modern development in dub music, and I feel that it's one of the biggest market for reggae music generally, but specifically for roots music. But I also think the roots movement in Europe is not developing on the same pace as like the sound system scene or the sound system movement, which has more to do with a particular tone in music, particular loudness in music and presentation as far as like speakers and technologies, but the cultural aspect of the sound system, roots and culture movement, I think is developing in a division, I feel, in Europe. But I live outside of Europe, so I only get to see part of the vision. I don't get to see the whole vision, but that's my experience coming from America and coming from a roots and culture background. Rastafari represents so many things to me. For me specifically, Rastafari represent life, represent living my life and continually trying to progress my life and myself to being the best person I can be, to be conscious, not to just do things, not to just live any kind of way, but to be conscious of the way that I live. And in the center of that is the person and the personality of His Imperial Majesty, where his life is the example, because this is the name we take on. We say Rastafari. So this is him, what his mission, what his idea, what his sentiments were. To me, that is the Rastafari life, a life being influenced by these personalities of the persons of His Majesty. So it's something that is connected with the divinity of His Majesty, and therefore the divinity of humanity, and the works to do amongst human and on earth in this time that we're living in, because His Majesty is the earth's rightful ruler. So in that being, how He's ruling the earth and His destiny for the earth is the consciousness that is the focus for me in Rastafari, as a life, as a lifestyle, as a philosophy, as a way of being. Yeah, my philosophy in life is to really, for each person, starting with myself, to really be at their best, and at their best, not just what they might think or consider is the best, but to really think outside of themselves in relationship to others, in relationship to the planet, in relationship to the situations in the planet, So each person, I feel, as a human, each one of us, because of what humanity has done, is responsible to live their lives so that the planet and humanity find healing. And I think that healing that humanity and the planet seeks start with individual approaches, individual mentalities, and individual openness to life, to creation, and to coexisting. Right now, we're working on several albums with a few foundation artists, including Judas Tafari, Fred Lax, Prince Allah, and also with some younger artists that were locally based around New York when we started doing our works, such as David Wanaway, Willie Tisseon, Lion Chandel, and also many other young up-and-coming artists around the world. Working with some artists from Brazil, Virgin by name Monkey Jam. We have some project with them. We're working with some artists from Germany, working with some artists in France, all over, basically presenting roots music in this present time, but as a continuation from the foundation, from the way it began like one Brethren Kit Hudson quote, Rasta communication, continuing the Rasta communication, the each one teach one, elevation to music, like Bob Marley did, and many of the artists that opened the doors, you know, continuing that message and that movement, because this is what really took the music and every part of it to the international level. It's the consciousness and the message. So our work is to keep that alive in this time, and keep it alive as a continuation, not as something different or something new that is broken away from the foundation, but a continuation of this seed coming from Jamaica, from the Rastafari movement, communicating to music. Same for me, and I'm happy to be here, first time in Toulouse, and friends, and to connect with brothers and sisters, you know, from you know, we've seen before, we connect for the first time in Toulouse, but really from creation, I think our energy has had this commonness, so it's good to reconnect again in this time, in this place.
Insanity. People need to know their history. It's a crime against humanity.